Welcome back to the Evolv Podcast. I'm Rhiannon.
And I'm your better host, Brendan.
All right, we'll leave it at that. But for now, pretty much what this podcast is all about is self-development, health and fitness, and our journey starting as brand new business owners.
Let's go. Make sure that you share this around because I'm telling you right now, this is the best podcast you've ever seen.
Enjoy, guys. Ciao.
What's one moment in your life that completely changed how you approach your business?
I don't believe, right, that there was like a pivotal moment where it's like, this is the direction. Yeah. I've been asked that question before.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's this like light bulb moment. You sort
like
of
a flick of a switch type thing.
I don't. I think I've been very fortunate that, through a little bit of hard work and just work ethic, that opportunities, I guess, have come up. And then, if I'm passionate about the project itself, that's where it sort of, aligned me into that direction.
Mm.
So I don't think there's that one pivotal moment, where I like woke up in the morning and said, this is who I am. I think I spent the last, 20 years trying to work out who I actually am as a person and what motivates me and what drives me.
Yeah.
So I've tried different things. I've moved into different, avenues, but I always seem to come back to the 1 to 2 or 3 things that I love the most, which is the fitness industry and also the pain industry, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Very different ends of the earth, painting and obviously running the gym.
It looks like that, but people ask me that as well a lot, like how it's like pain and fitness. But for me, it's always been about the actual project and the transformation of the project. I fell in love with painting because I could walk into this old home and with the right tools and resources, we could turn this thing into life. And we'd stand back from the project and be like, wow, from where it started to what it is now.
Yep.
I get the same kick out of being in the gym. People walk in with a project, right? You got to find out exactly what they need as a good coach, right? And whether it's physical transformation or mental clarity or whatever the project is, I tackle it the same way. Yeah, I tackle it the same way. And at the end of the project, or, it's obviously an ongoing journey.
Of course.
We can transform people's lives in the gym. So, I think, again, trying to find out what drives me or makes me passionate, that's what it is. And so when you say they're two different worlds,
the foundations are the same.
Yeah, it feels very similar to me in the before and after photo.
Of course. Like you brought it back. You took a step back from it just being about paint and gym. It's like, no, take a step back. The foundations are exactly the same. It's the same concept in both avenues.
Yeah, and how fulfilling is it for coaches, right, when you've got that photo, that split photo we all do where you pop it in your app to make a collage and it's like, this is where you started and this is where you are now. And when my clients are happy to send that in, a lot of them at the start say, I'm not sending you a photo, Ben. And I said, it's fine. Don't send it to me. Just keep it for safekeeping. We get them to take one at the start and take one, towards the end of the journey. Don't send it to me. But when they're proud to actually flick it through to you, and even more so, they say, you can use it for marketing. Use that. That's a win for us because, one, we can showcase, the effort that's been put in from both parties. And two, they feel confident enough to showcase that photo. So I always take that as a bit of a win. And that's what I fell in love with the painting industry as well. I can get a before and after shot.
Pretty much every single time as well, though.
But like we would go into a place, whether it's a big project or a small project, and we can turn a wall or a building or, all the projects that we did to life.
And you can keep your clothes on as well.
Yeah, and I didn't have to strip off and everybody's happy. So, it's, that shot, that before and after, that transformation is what really kicks me, into gear. I think it's what I've loved about both industries. I think that's why I'm still involved in both.
For sure. You started martial arts at the age of 4. What did that teach you about consistency for not only yourself, but obviously you've brought it over into your businesses as well? Yeah,
I think martial arts is one of the best, things you can get a child into. While team sport is important as well, and I believe that kids should grow up, in community team sports, martial arts is very individual. You have to learn many different things, from packing your bag to preparing your uniform to putting your uniform on correctly.
Not forgetting your belt
or you're getting push-ups, even to, turning up to class on time, the punishments involved in that if you don't, put extra push-ups, bowing onto the dojo mat, just paying respect to your home and where you train. And there's not a lot of sports that actually do
Takes that.
Soccer, netball, these team sports, you're with a group of people, right? Sometimes you get lost in the background, where martial arts gave me the opportunity, I guess, to step forward and to become, who I was through training. Also, teaching me about emotions and, you have to learn new sequences, new patterns, every belt. There's extra curriculum stuff that you learn, and, it can be quite frustrating when you first don't pick up things, or you step up and you're fighting against somebody who's a bit bigger, a bit stronger, so you're going through all the emotions, frustration.
At such a young age as well.
Tired, happy because you've got it right, sad because you've got it wrong, anger because someone's, taking it up to you a bit, you know what I mean? Like, so
you wouldn't think it's an emotional sport as well.
You're just going through it all the time. And the minute you get a bit confident, something chops you down where, you're constantly having these different feelings, So I feel like that sort of set me up a little bit to go through everything in life, I thought if I've gone through the hardest of gradings, in senior level ranks, like really tough gradings.
Yeah.
Like there was nothing that life could throw that, I wasn't prepared for. In most situations.
Black belt at 10 years old, that's an achievement, that one.
Yeah. To put in perspective, because there's 5-year-old black belts now that get their belt, like it's a bit of a belt farm out there where you just, they're obviously the club's trying to keep retention and hold them. But back then,
it's kind of ruined the industry a little bit.
Big time, and that's a whole nother story.
They values the black belt.
100%, man. We see them when we come to tournaments and stuff like that, where the level and the standard's not quite where it used to be. But back when it was 1992 when I started, so I was 4 years old. So and about 6.5, 7 years to get to black belt. And that's training like 5 nights a week and personal training with the instructors. Like it was a really big commitment.
Yeah, but that sounds all right though. 6.5 years for black belt.
Yeah. So that's the time, providing that, you commit to the training and things like that.
5 times a week and everything.
Yeah. So it's a big commitment.
It takes 10 years on average for someone doing like 2 to 3 a week. But
Agree. Depending on the style, some take longer, it's hard and you got to commit. So, we definitely gave it the time. And then, when I achieved the black belt at a young age, from there to get to the second dan, which is the next one, you can't get that legally in our system till you're 16 years old.
Oh, really?
So there's this long wait between, because, it's such a hard grading to get to the next level that you got to stick it out. So talking what I'm learning, I'm also learning patience.
Oh, yeah, big time.
Because now all of a sudden I can't progress.
Yep.
That's a big lesson for a 10-year-old as well.
Yeah, so it's and then I'm like, okay, well, what do I do here? So I had to stick it out at that point. So, I think martial arts has really set me up for many different things. Build a little bit of confidence as well. I think you got to back yourself.
Yeah.
A little bit of self-belief.
Confidence, discipline, consistency. And that's just, you've just taken all that into your businesses as well.
Basically, and hard work, man.
Yeah.
Hard work. Because nothing was really handed on the mat to me. You had to earn it then.
Yeah.
So now it's the same, right? Like you can't just coast through life. We need to get up and go. We got to find a way to keep driving the ship, even when the ship's got holes in it. Sometimes,
100%.
We all got to push together. So it's been a great journey through martial arts. I'm still on the floor. I still teach. I still train.
So you're still coaching on the floors as well?
Yeah. So I obviously now I'm running the gym and teaching in martial arts. I'm now, training in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and multi different styles. I just want to be well-rounded, artist.
Yeah.
Last night rolling with some of the senior level BJJ guys, like they'll tie you up in a bow and spit you back out. So it's a very humbling moment, because traditionally I'm a stand-up fighter, right? So these guys are taking you to the ground and, pinning you one-dimensional. So
he does jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. It's a
fantastic
art. Fantastic art. Somehow you fall in love with it, but it's so frustrating at the same time.
Do you feel like it still translates though, the skills?
Yeah.
Not really the skills, but the mindset behind martial arts.
Oh, I agree. The philosophy of BJJ and the true art, to the purest of BJJs, is similar to martial arts. The way we show respect. We're building community leaders. Training is the byproduct. You know, if you're doing it the right way, like it's not all about the physicality of the actual
100%.
art itself. You should be learning, you know, how to be a good person. You know, I think that's ultimately, as a black belt or instructor, that's what we should be teaching, is how to teach people to cut their ego and actually
just be good people.
Look after each other. You know, you don't have to go out and pick fights in the street or anything. You should just have it in your tool belt to protect your family.
You can do that if you need to. Yeah.
You know, if something was to happen to your family, you can step forward and be that person instead of running from the fire. We sort of run to it a little bit.
Or you can call Ben.
Yeah, well, I'll call Claudia now. She's my little firecracker at the moment.
Yeah,
she's a little fireball.
She's good, man. She's good.
Yeah, you were talking before about how you've built a solid foundation in terms of your team that works in the gym, in all of your businesses in general. How did you go about creating that team? Because I feel like a lot of successful business owners have like a solid foundation or solid team that works around them. How did you go about creating that yourself?
Culture's one word that comes to mind. You know, I think I work for some pretty poor bosses, so I sort of learnt what not to do, I guess, and just watching and taking note of how to treat people, the standards that you set, even your own standards, because if you're not of this level, then you can't expect the guys to sort of be of that level too, or understand what that looks like. You know, so setting the standards myself first and foremost, and making sure that I continue to self-develop and, you know, continue my path was the first thing. Even though it's talking about team, I talk about myself, because take ownership fully in, you know, in being the right person and being the leader and the CEO of the company.
Yeah.
And then, the culture within the group. I think you got to find people with the same values, you know, and very quickly you have to find that out, you know, when you employ. You really got to make sure that, you know, they're good family people, because if they're not aligned with their family or they've got family issues, it's normally going to, you know, when you're building a family within the gym,
you need them to align with that.
It's going to leak through their issues too, you know. So good family people, good values, good morals. We have, you know, a list of, and Claudia, I think, mentioned it about, you know, our sort of 10 rules and, you know, our 10 commandments, you know, the policies. Yeah. As long as you, when they read those, they should be like, this is who I am.
Yeah.
You know, we've worked hard ourselves in creating our ethos in the gym and the actual commitment of every person there to what we're trying to achieve. So they should read through those and go, yeah, this is me.
How important is it having that ethos within your gym?
We didn't have it at the start either. You know? So, we actually, you know, again, we've learned everything by learning, right? Like, it's
just by doing
none of this was, you know, no one gave us anything. We're not a franchise model. We're a family business. Every color, every T-shirt, every, you know, merchandise purchase, everything we've learned the hard way by making mistakes.
Yeah.
You know, so we knew what we wanted, but we didn't have it all, you know, pen to paper.
Of course.
You know, so.
Because no one writes a rule book.
No, and you know what you want, right? Like you know who you are as a person, but, you know, if people are going to come and be employed by you and work for you, they need to know what you're doing. You are, you know, and unless you spend a long time together, it's hard to know. So it's like, read this, you know, make sure that this is where you are in your life. And if you're not, it might not be the right time that you know, you might be a great coach, but, you know, you might not be able to commit to this. Like, it's pretty lengthy. It's something that.
So there's a big line of questioning before making the right hire.
Totally.
Yeah. Fire slow, fire fast.
Yeah, man. That's like I said that off camera. That is 100% like what I do now.
Yeah.
You know, I don't care if we have to have 6 interviews.
Yeah.
Because I want to catch you out. I want to see if you come late. I want to see if you come scruffy looking. I want to see if you've got other commitments. Yeah. If you changed the time on me 7 times. If you know, the way you speak on the first one's different to the way you speak on the third one. You know, so I learned this the hard way, right? Yeah. Like employing bad people and people that don't align and not committed to that, you know.
Yeah.
I also want like entrepreneurs. I want guys that are fired up, you know. We were entrepreneurs. You guys are entrepreneurs.
Entrepreneurs.
Right? Yeah. I want entrepreneurs. Yeah. And I'm very fortunate now that we have like a lot of them.
That's awesome.
You know, guys that step forward and make suggestions. Or hey, Benny.
Right. Do you feel like that's easy to find? feel like they're super hard to find.
Yeah, totally, man. It takes years.
They're very rare species.
Years, man. That's why they say it takes 8 years to build your brand. 8 years.
Oh, really?
You know,
that's an actual stat.
No, I just made that up, but it sounds like it. No, but that's what I read. Yeah. Let's go with it. No, look, you know, I believe that it takes about 8 years to build your brand.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're nothing within the first 8 years then?
That's the problem with most business owners because they want it now.
Yes.
You know, if you're committed to the grind and you go, okay, it takes us 8 years. Like, where are we at? We're in the second year. Okay, well, we're in the 5th year. Like, we're not there yet.
See, that was the
We're
first
little
stat.
babies.
Yeah, that was the first stat we heard was like in the first 2 years of running a business is where people fail or succeed. And we surpassed that this year. And we're like, okay, this is crazy. Yeah. This is the next level now.
They have statistics on it, like first year of the fall over, and then
it's up 90% in the first year.
Most businesses don't read that in the start. They're like, I need to know, like, am I going to make it out of this 2 year period? Like, shit, I'm here now.
Oh, I did
like,
2 years.
Yeah. And then you should celebrate that, man. You really should, because some guys don't get out. You know, they start the business, but it's hard. Like, I think.
Why do you think not many people do it?
Start it or make it?
Fail within the first 2 years or whatever it is.
Claudia's a prime example of that. Like I want to run a business. Like I want to do what you're doing, you know? Okay, great. So go away and do all these things, come back. And to her credit, she went away and she did all the things and she come back. And I'm like, okay, how can you not, you know, work with somebody that's going to be so, you know, motivated to getting it? So I'm like, you know, I've got to take her on this journey with me, which is, you know, been great. But even I believe, and she'll laugh when she hears this, but there's times when she's like, shit, Ben, like, this doesn't go away, does it? You know, like business is every single minute.
Yep.
Yes.
You know, like I don't care if I have to take an email or take a client at 2 a.m. in the morning if that's what the client wants. Like most people won't do that. They want to work. They think, you know, financial freedom.
9 to 5.
Yeah. You know, so answering your question, I think people come in it for different reasons. Yeah. You know, you got to be prepared to go the distance. You got to be prepared to do the shit.
Endure the hard shit that no one else can do.
Yeah, and grind, man, and like pure grind, you know. And I think not everybody can do that.
Yeah, makes sense.
You know, I don't think
special qualities.
Yeah, 100%. You know, you have to build all your skill sets. You have to become a good leader.
Yeah.
You know, and again, I don't think everyone can be a leader. And that's not
that's not a bad thing.
No, and not even from an arrogant place. You know, like you have to do the work yourself.
Yeah.
You know, I still have business coaches. I still have mentors. I just got off a call, literally, off my business coach who's in America. You know, I fly all over the country to meet people and to do these workshops and go on these seminars and collab with people and drive to Bexley and talk to you because this is what it takes. You know, you can't stay in your comfort zone or you won't make it out of that 2 or 3 year period.
That's very true. Like forever filling up your time with things that you love to do.
You have to, man.
You enjoy doing. You've got a passion for it. So why not just fill up all your time with something that you're passionate about?
Yeah, and go all in.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't go half-assed.
Because I feel like to become a good leader, you have to actually be knocked down 100 times, but still get up.
Sacrifice to, you know, props to mine. Like,
What's been the biggest sacrifice for you? Time?
I got kids now.
Yeah,
I got a family now, so that's probably what I would say is a challenge. Having 2 little kids, my son's 8, my daughter's 5. You know, I remember my father being in business and not being around so much, so I'm conscious of that. So I'm sacrificing now a little bit of time to try and get us to a certain position, I guess, as a family. But I can see, say, for Claudia, who's younger, she's sacrificing the party life, the life, right? The life, you know, where it's your friends are out and you've disconnected with half your friends because they're on another journey of whatever the hell they're doing.
It's a lonely path.
And she feels lonely at times, you know, or I can see, you know, I can see that she has to say no to certain events because we're running an event in the gym. You know, she has to, it's like some of her friends don't catch up because they're, you know, she knows Claudia's working or, you know what I mean? It might not be out of malice or anything. It's just purely different direction. So that's a reality smack in the face.
But that's what it takes. That's what it takes to be, you know, successful.
Yeah.
Whether that be happiness.
Do you feel like every business owner goes through this like lonely path?
period?
I think so, man. You know, I had to cut a lot of people out, you know, very early on. if I was going to make a different choice in life, then, you know, you have to really sit back, reflect and go like, I need to change my attitude, you know, to change the direction that I'm moving in.
Yeah.
You know,
push yourself outside that comfort zone.
You do, man. You got to delete numbers and disconnect. You know, it's yeah. And again, I don't think everybody's prepared to do that.
Yeah.
You know, I had to go like in my own bubble for a couple of years to reshape who I was and, you know, the decisions I was making. You know,
sure.
So yeah, you know, the journey of business, I guess, it uncovers so many things. Like you really learn about yourself in that time. That's the best self-development journey that you could have, right? Like it really is, man.
Well, you go into such a self-sufficient bubble for so long and then you start expanding and collaborating. Here we are on a podcast like this.
Yeah.
And it gives us the opportunity to talk about our experience from our lonely chapter as well, where we're in that bubble.
You know what I love about meeting other business owners is you realize that you're not alone.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why I say to Claudia, like, come with me to meet people, do these things, you know, connect with other business owners. Because while you think that you're a bit lonely because your mates are doing other things, you go and meet other boys and you're like, these guys are grinding. These guys are hustling. It sort of fires me up a little bit to go, well, if they can, I can. You know, you know, and then
there's a lot of people doing it as well.
Yeah, if you got to find your circle, your new circle.
That's what we found a bit of a struggle in the beginning of this podcast. We were like, where does this direction go? We're just going to talk about fitness. Then we had the opportunity to start talking to business owners, and one business owner after the other just gave us more fire within the belly, and it was just one after the other. Now we get to speak to you and many others to come. I think that's a very important part of getting out of that lonely chapter, is that there's so many other people out there like you.
Yeah, and there's guys that are on your level. There's guys that are on another level and another level and another level. It's
like so many levels to it.
Yeah, and so what are they doing? I want to know.
Yeah.
You know, I want to know, what are they doing differently to me?
Yeah.
Like, can I get to that level? Do I want to be on that level? Maybe I'm happy here. And
what
let's stay here and run it from this level. You know, so when I was younger, I always used to think that, you know, okay, well, me and you have the same time.
Yeah.
You know, we got 24 hours in a day. So what's the difference between you and me? And whatever it is, I got to fill the gap, you know? So, okay, I can see that he's spending more time reading. Perfect. I didn't like to read. Guess what I'm going to do? Start reading every day. You know, this guy's going to all these seminars. Great. You know, I'm not in competition with him. I just can see he's going and
this
doing
is the stuff he does. This is stuff I need to do.
Yeah, I'm not doing it. So then I can't say, well, how come he got to that level? You know, because he's doing the work.
Yeah.
So that's, you know, that's always how I think, man. And I still think like that.
Yeah.
You know, I'm still constantly trying to find ways to level up myself, you know.
100%.
And all the guys in the crew, they always say, Ben, you lead by example. You know, even much our training, you know, our whatever it is, you know, I want to be that. I want to be the captain of the team. You know?
I feel like every level, as you just said, has its own sacrifices involved. And the higher you get, the more sacrifices you have to make. And whenever you look at that level, you got to decide, am I willing to put in the sacrifice or lose out on X, Y, Z to get X, Y, Z? So you have to do all these little trade-offs every single time.
Yeah, and the more that you take on, you know, the more, it's a leaky bucket at the back too. Yeah. So I was talking before about, you know, going horizontal. You know, I was constantly going horizontal, like trying to take on new opportunities, get involved here, speaking here, you know, everything.
Spreading yourself thin.
Yeah. The last couple of years, it's like we're going vertical. You know, I know exactly what we need to do to get to this goal. You know, we're going to stay on this path. So now I have to slightly say, can't do that because I'm here, you know, and this is the priority. But I think in the beginning for any, you know, younger business owners, it's just like take every opportunity. Just go hard. Yeah. Go hard, take it. You know, if you get asked to speak. If you get, you know,
go as horizontal as you can.
Do more than you think you can.
Yeah.
You know, because you're capable.
It's like funneling all your energy. You spread it as wide as possible, and then it just comes into that one funnel, and then you put all your energy into
now that. I'm doing that.
Yeah.
You know, in the position that we are now, it's like, okay, I know, you know, that this is the end goal, and we've aligned to new goals and new things that we want to hit, new numbers. So I have to come a bit more vertical and choose my time wisely. You know, so. But in the beginning, you go hard.
I saw in one of your podcasts, you mentioned that you get into the trenches, and that's what defines you as a leader.
Yeah.
So you mentioned something about you actually go into the toilets and you actually clean the toilets.
Yeah, I clean them. Yeah, with the boys, like they laugh because and I hate doing it. Just don't get me wrong, it's not something that you enjoy to do. But when I was a painter, I used to do the same thing. So we would paint the house, and you can paint the walls, the ceilings, and the windows. That's all the fun stuff, I guess. Then somebody has to paint the toilets. So you have to physically hug the toilet bowl and cut around it with a brush and and roll the section. I'd go and do that because I knew my boys didn't want to do it. And I'm the owner of the company here, right? So, and I've got 6 or 7 painters at this point. They probably could go. The apprentice would go and do that. Normally, I would go and paint it. Yeah, and I tried to do that to lead by example to show there's no job that I wouldn't do that I'm going to ask you to do. And what I found was my apprentices, and from time to time, what they'd say, Ben, don't go and paint it. I'll do it today.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we get to the job. They pull out the brush.
They're actually the ones that are saying it to you. So the other way around.
I'd drop something on the floor. They'd go to pick it up. I'd stop them. We'd stop them. We'd have this argument, So, but I had to build that culture around I'm prepared to do it. I think maybe sometimes business owners get in there and they want to dictate a demand, or and that's the type of bosses that I worked for before. That would go and paint the toilets, Ben, do all 3 of them. In that demeanor,
Leading by example.
Now it's well, okay, I'm in charge. I'll do that. I'll still do it. And then
I'm going to do it different.
Yeah. And now in the gym, every challenge that we run, I do the challenge with them. So
you actually do it?
I do it with them. I'm on one now, right? So we have a winter program challenge that we run with all the members.
Yep.
There's about 30 odd people on the challenge. I do the challenge with them. So that I can stand at the front and say, at the end of this, we did it together.
Do you always win?
No, not always. There's some people that kill it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're just on, all the time. Even we got a program called Project X. So it's almost 75 hard, but a bit on steroids. So we wanted to run a 4 week
harder
program.
Than 75
Yeah, it's hard. 4 a.m. wake ups, 4 liters of water, double workouts, inside, outside.
Yeah.
On the last night, we meet at midnight. We go all night from midnight to 8 a.m. It's
How many
extreme.
people are doing that?
We have about 20, 30 people who sign up to these programs, right? So we run all different things throughout the week, depending on the level of the person. So if someone's been on a challenge with me before and it's a normal gym challenge, they might level up to Project X, being that's our extreme.
That's like the elite.
Yeah, but we do it. So I'm there at midnight.
Yep.
We ice bath at 4 a.m.
No way.
Yeah, we try and push them to the thing. But when I say going through the trenches, I literally do the program.
You do the thing.
Yeah, I don't watch them on FaceTime and tell them to dial in.
Come on, guys.
Yeah. Call me at 8 o'clock. I'm literally there out, getting it with them. So, and I enjoy that. I really do. I enjoy it. I think as a coach, who are you going to take advice off, right? If you got one instructor or coach that's, overweight, smokes cigarettes, drinks, you know what I mean? Because I've seen them. There's lots in martial arts. They become a 4th Dan black belt. Yet the guy can't kick higher than a grasshopper or whatever. Now, obviously, age, plays factors in these things, but a lot of them stop training. And I always said to my martial arts crew, I said, I'm not going to be a big fat grandmaster. Once I get to that point, I'm hoping that I can still be on the floor, kicking, rolling, and doing my thing. I might not be as quick as most of my kids now.
Yeah.
I've got some juniors that have come through that when we spar, I must have a target on my back, because I'm the coach or the instructor. They take it up to me a little bit, and they're great. But they've leveled up. That's that's a sign of a good club when the young ones step up, and they should be better than me, But and I'm getting a bit older and tired now, and I don't, I'm not in my prime, but I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
But I'm still on the floor with them, I still want to have a crack and lead from the front.
I wanted to ask you, obviously motivation is a very big thing in this sort of industry, because you're not only trying to motivate yourself, but you're obviously trying to motivate others. How do you stay motivated for yourself?
It's a juicy question, eh? Again, I get asked a bit, right? I know I said that before, but I get asked how are you always on?
Yeah.
I don't think I'm always on, right? There are moments when you feel off, right? I think I've always thought that, feelings are short. Talking what we were talking about before with martial arts, and, a feeling of frustration is short. Feeling of anger is short. Feeling of tired is short. Feeling of happy is short, right? So when I'm on, I really capitalize on being on.
Yep.
But when I'm off, I now acknowledge that I'm off, and it's okay to be off, and I'll take a moment to do certain things. What I try to do is have some non-negotiables. You know, things like my wake up time every morning is a non-negotiable. I don't have 7 different alarms like most people. I just have one.
Yep.
I get up every morning, I walk, and my phone is actually in the bathroom, so I don't place that next to the bed.
So you have to get up and get it.
I've got to turn it off, or I wake up the whole house and my wife. And you don't want to wake up my wife, or she will, you'll Jackie Chan your ass, right? Yep. So right, she also trains, right? So, and she's cranky in the morning. So one alarm, I walk over and I turn it off in the thing, and I get cold water and I splash cold water on my face. Perfect. And I do that every day.
Yep.
Right. So if you want to get on, that's how I get on, right? Yep. Like, because then I'm
there you go, guys. Write that one down.
Yeah, I'm alive, right? I'm up. I have to get up. I'm not going to go back to bed like some of my clients will do from time to time. You know? Especially now when it's cold and every other reason to go back there, right? So I splash cold water on my face. I get ready for train, and I go and train early. I train in the morning.
Yep.
I just find that works for me the best. Now, if I haven't trained in the morning, the other non-negotiable I do is I will train at night. So although I don't have time a lot of the times, like if it gets to 10 o'clock at night and I haven't trained that day, and training can be a walk on the treadmill, light intensity, doesn't have to be,
just
or even stretch, mobility, something, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be HIIT style training or the like. But I still will train, and I find that if I'm just committed to that training piece for me, then the rest of the flow-on effect of that makes me make better decisions in my life. So reading, I read 10 pages every day. I never used to like to read, but I've really valued that the last sort of 5-6 years. So I've got some non-negotiables. It's wake up every morning to the alarm, don't press snooze.
You snooze, you lose.
Cold water on the face, that's a non-negotiable. Train every day, whether light intensity or high intensity, whether it's martial arts or anything. And I commit to writing some sort of gratitude. Right? Okay. So this I only done probably the last 12 months, where when I get home at night, I write down, 3 or 4 things that I'm really grateful for, And I think I was really bad at that at some point. I think, I really never stopped to smell the roses. I think I was always chasing something.
Never really living in the moment.
No. And then half the time I'm like, shit, look at the position I've got myself into. But it's like, but if I get to this point, then I'll be happier.
How did you get yourself out of that period of always forward thinking?
Yeah, it's hard, man. It's really hard.
Because I've fallen into that trap multiple times where I'm like stupidly forward thinking.
Hyper-focused, man. Just hyper-focused on the next win. You want to keep winning.
Or like that little tick box.
Yeah.
You're checking off every time.
I think all entrepreneurs are like that. Like
you overthink in the beginning, but then you learn how to approach that overthinking headspace.
Totally.
And it's because you always want more.
And we're built by winning. Like you so when you've won, it's like, what's next?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
When's the next win?
Yeah. So what I try to do now is like celebrate a lot of things.
Yeah.
So if we hit a milestone, or if a member hits a milestone, like we've like shouted out, whether they do 50 sessions with us, like we make a big hoo-ha, take a photo, video them. Like they hate it, some of them, because they don't want to get on social media. I'm like, why? Because social media is built by, I don't want to post this thing because tall poppy syndrome. I'm like, fuck it. We're all on it anyway now, whether you like it or not, right? So I'm going to shout out the fact that I've got, one of my members who's just an absolute champion. I'm going to do it, whether you like it or not. And they love it, but they, they don't want to take the video or whatever. So I think celebrating your wins more often. The boy, you said, you're 2 years in, like, man, go out, enjoy that, have dinner, because otherwise it goes, right? And then you're on to the next.
Victory. We tell our clients that all the time. Celebrate those small victories. Agreed. And we don't even do it for ourselves.
No, we don't. And so I didn't do it for ages. And I was like, shit, man, I'm missing like milestone events, kind of special.
Because you're always aiming for something bigger.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
You're just constantly like going to you think that the next position is going to make you feel happier. But you
chase that happiness.
Yeah, you're happy in the place that you're in. Look what you're doing.
Yeah.
Then you get to that spot and you're like, I want more.
Yeah.
Every single time.
Yeah.
Does that ever stop?
I don't think the love of more doesn't stop.
Yeah.
I think I want to keep filling the bucket up, and so you're constantly trying to do that. But I think you have to stop every now and again and sort of pinch yourself. Like there's been moments in the gym now where I sort of close up at night by myself. It's late. And I just like look around a little bit and like, wow, I remember training in 100 square meters. I told you before, like we were doing kettlebell swings and we had to alternate whether you were doing the burpee or I was doing the kettlebell swing because I would collect you with the kettlebells to the head. Like that's how small the space was before.
Yeah.
And now I've got this facility that, you know, can change so many people's lives, you know, and
make a big difference.
Yeah, and make a huge impact in our community. So, you know, I try now, maybe that's just growing up a little bit.
I think,
like a level of maturity.
That gratitude that you mentioned that you do every day as a non-negotiable is the perfect way to actually sit back and reflect on everything that you've achieved.
And read back on that too.
For sure.
Like what I was grateful for 6 months ago is different now, you know. And then even just reflecting on that has been kind of cool. So there's 4 or 5 things that I do every day as a non-negotiable. I think that keeps me on.
Yeah.
I'm also probably slightly undiagnosed something, you know what I mean? Like
I got undiagnosed.
Yeah, I think we all do, but we were in a time when no one diagnosed, right? Like your parents just go, he's just lost
the plot,
a bit crazy. It's too much. You just go in the backyard.
Let him be, you know?
Yeah, be in the backyard.
Go burn out some energy outside.
Or ride the bike around outside and that's how, you know, they come back when the street lights come on. Now every kid is, you know,
diagnosed with something.
Fuck, you know, it's crazy shit. But yeah, so I think we've all got something in us. Yeah, I like the hustle. I like the grind a little bit.
Yeah.
It's good.
You got
Healthy. What else are you going to do? What's the alternative? Sit on the couch?
I actually don't know what the
alternative is. I said to Claudia literally yesterday, I'm like, okay, what's the alternative? Sit at home.
You get a job?
Yeah, go and work for the man. Like work for somebody. He's going to be telling you when you can and can't breathe. Like
he's going to tell you when your lunch break is.
Yeah. You got to ask for your lunch break. Like shit, you know, like I never realized. I'm like, well, that's the alternative. Like, and I think about that sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm like, what if I just finished everything and I went and worked for somebody else right now?
It would be easier.
Yeah. Well, the pay packet maybe every week on Thursday. At least you know you get. I should be getting paid on a Thursday.
I'd run straight back to this, straight back to the hustle, bro.
I don't think you'd be able to do it. I think when you break out of that 2-year, 3-year period, it would be super hard unless the right opportunity came.
Yeah, because you think about all the little.
Ever go back.
You think about all the little details. Like, you know, we built the business, you build the business over a certain period of time. If you were to go back under someone else, you're like, but this can be done different. And I could have done this in this sort of industry, this sector.
Yeah, agree.
You kind of think a lot more.
You know, and I work good with like a chip on my shoulder. And there's probably a few people that probably want me to give up or fail, you know, whether there is or not. I don't know.
Good.
I just made that up. But you know what I mean? But that's sort of like, it's really driven me my whole life, you know, to like, I can't fail.
Just to prove them wrong.
Yeah, because then they win.
I feel like a lot of business owners become business owners because of that.
Like, yeah, it's good, but it's a good place to be. You need a chip on your shoulder, I reckon. You do better when you're like backs against the wall type feeling, 100%. You know.
Yeah.
Have you ever had a moment like that where your back was up against the wall?
Probably, yeah, a few. I remember when I was a painter, I wanted to go out on my own, right? So I was planning in my head to sort of leave the company, and I was the leading foreman there. So I'm running this guy's company. He basically wasn't coming into the job site. So I was doing everything, right? We had a small team. I was running it and, you know, really becoming who I was in the painting industry. But I wanted to sort of go and have a crack, you know, whether it was small jobs on the side or, you know, even contracting back to him, which is the approach I actually went to him with. I said, hey, I'm going to actually go and buy a van and try and do some small jobs. Maybe I can take on a whole job for you. So it wasn't like I'm leaving. And he got quite upset about it, I remember at the time. And
really?
Yeah, because he had visions of me staying with the company, right? So he's planning to scale with me.
Ben, don't leave.
Yeah, so he's like, oh, you know, you're never going to do this and do that. And I know everyone in this. And he carried on a little bit. And I'm young and I'm like, hang on. You don't want the best intentions for me, right? Like, and I saw a different side, you know, and it sort of triggered me to think, you know what? I'm just going to do it because you said I couldn't, you know? And that was basically the end of that lifetime with him. And I went out on my own. And, you know, when I woke up in the morning, I'd hear him say, I don't think you're going to be able to do this, you know, or things like that. Like,
same experience with the previous.
But there's like hundreds of people that have told me that. But you know what I mean? Where your boss has said something that's triggered you, or like somebody said something like, they don't think you can do it.
And that's a light switch moment.
Boom, let's go. You know, like every day I'd wake up and think about him. And I'd drive to work early. I'd be on the job site first, you know. It sparked me to go, like, I can't quit here. If I quit, then he's right. So like man, there's no way I was going to let that happen. No way.
And now you're expanding.
Yeah.
So and, wrong.
Yeah. And then like I just wanted to do like work on my own as a painter. You know, by the end of that year, I had like 6 or 7 guys working for me. Like we were like killing it. Like even to the point my accountant's like, man, what are you doing? Like I was working day and night. Like I had a morning team and a night team. We had 2 different jobs on the fly. Like I just went like balls deep, man. It was really, really tough time. But I thought, man, this is it. Like this is what it has to be. Not knowing that. And I guess that's how I learned business now. And I'm skilled a little bit at it because I just did everything off pure work ethic. No structure, no like management team, no positions, no SOPs, like I didn't even understand what those things were. You know, it was just wake up every day, go in and just get it done, you know, and don't leave until you're satisfied. But you can only do that for so long. The work ethic will only take you so far before you have to have system in place.
At any point in that journey, did you feel like you had imposter syndrome?
It crosses your mind. But when
you let it?
Yeah. I think...
Did you ever let it?
A little bit, you know. There are moments when you think like that, I think. Yeah, you really think like, am I capable?
This episode is brought to you by Dynamic Recov. You're not lazy, you're just busy. But let me ask you this. How much longer are you going to let your health take a backseat to your calendar? You already know what to do. Train, eat well, stay consistent, but knowing isn't the problem. Doing it while running a business, managing a team, or raising a family, that's where most people fall flat. At Dynamic Recov, we coach high-performing professionals to take back control without adding more to your plate. We give you a clear plan, real accountability, and full access to our coaching team right from your phone. Use code Evolv at checkout to get 50% off your first week. That's EVOLV. Hit the link in the show notes. Start now before later turns into never. Now let's get back to the episode.
You know, when you get a bit burnt out and tired or there's things that don't go in the right direction or the finances aren't quite there or, you know.
Nothing's adding up.
Yeah, that's when it hits and it's like, shit, am I out of my depth here? Like, can I actually get through this?
Stress, anxiety, everything peaks.
Yeah. So I used to think, you know, that I was invincible too. Like and then business quickly unfolds that you know, it builds the character in you too. Yeah. So I would say yes. There were times when I thought, yeah, maybe I was out of my depth a little bit. But I think if you're committed and you're good at what you do as well, then tall poppy syndrome is a bit of a myth. You know, like be good at it, so then no one can question it. You know
what I mean? Okay.
Like don't
become good.
Yeah, don't pretend that you're good. You know, there's fake it till you make it shit. Like this shit is common.
Just do it, so you don't have to fake it.
Make it. Don't even fake it till you make it. Like face it, like properly.
Yeah, face it till you make it.
Yeah, like really face it.
I like that.
Like actually do the thing.
Yeah, so I don't come out and say I'm a life coach without doing the work. And you know what I mean? I don't, you know, be a business coach and then when I haven't run a business or like, you know what I mean? There's too many of those people. Those people have tall poppy syndrome, I reckon, because they know deep in their heart that they're not connected to who they're pretending to be.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know who I am now. You know?
How long did that take you?
Long time. You know? Long time.
Question, but
yeah, a long time because life takes you on different avenues. Like, you know, it's a big shiny object. Should I chase this? Should I go after this? Should I go back to comfort zone? Should I, you know what I mean? You don't actually know. You know when they ask you in school, like, who do you want to be?
Yeah.
And then,
I don't year 10, I'll always remember that.
How can you answer that? How can you answer? I've got students now, like,
what do you want to be when you're older?
What do you want to be? I don't even know what I want to be when I'm older. You know what I mean? I'm not sure. I still don't know.
Yeah. It's like that forward thinking you were talking about before.
Yeah.
Like even when you're young like that, when you become an entrepreneur, you feel that youth in you again. You're like, oh my God, I'm in above my head. I don't know what I'm doing. I've got to take a step back and like really analyze what the hell's going on.
How many people have like gone and got a degree in like something or even started a degree? Like a lot of the guys that I went to school with all went to uni and I paid hex debts like out of their backsides. Like they're still in debt. Some of them trying to pay that shit off. Didn't finish it or did finish it. And then they're working at, you know, picking shelves at Woolworths and stuff like, and no disrespect to that, but like, man, you started something to create it, but they didn't know.
Yeah.
So they were forced to like tell their parents follow the system of like, I have to get into something or choose my path now. And I think, that's the problem with like social media, because it's like you got to be something or do something, or like it's really like pushing you like to, do all these things. And then when they don't, they feel like they're behind, and people are like stressing out because it's I should be in this position, but I'm not, and he is, and I'm not. And there's this like, comparison thief.
What did you do when you left school?
I said I was going to be a real estate agent.
Okay.
Funny
there
enough.
You go.
When you used to write on the pieces of paper at school, like, what do you want to be? When you're going, I wrote real estate agent, like when I was like 7 years old. Real estate agent.
No way.
Real estate. Not knowing probably what a real estate agent did.
And what was involved.
I just knew that we weren't in a position financially at that point to buy a house. I thought maybe that'll get me a house if I'm a real estate agent. Right? So I'm like, real estate agent. And they laugh about it now because that's what I used to write. And then I actually went and got into real estate. I left school, and God bless my mum. She always used to say, if you leave school, you start a job straight away. So I left on the Friday, and I said, Mum, I'm done here.
Good ethics.
Yeah, and she said, Monday you find a job. So I went straight. Like none of this. What do they have these gap years now where you have like a year off and stuff. There's no gap year for me. I'm still looking for my gap year. But Monday morning I was in real estate firm. I was 16. I got a job. I'm dressed up. I remember, and I got my first business card with my head on it. I was like,
Were you
I made it. No. I went into what they got me to do. They gave me a business card, which is funny, right? So I thought, I've made it in life. This is
look at me. I'm on a card and everything.
I'm gangster. I'm giving it out to everyone. I'm like,
Here's my card.
Yeah. Oh man, I gave them out to people that didn't want them. Right? I was just like, I drop them in your letterbox and shit. Like I thought I was made it in life. I remember. And then what they made me do actually was door knock. So I needed a card to go around and door knock. So. I would go around and I would knock on the doors, and I was looking for listings or opportunities, and we fill them in on a call card. I'd take it back to the sales guys and then say, hey, Mrs. Smith was interested in selling, or she gave me an inkling that she might sell or whatever, and then I'd give it to the guys, right? And man, that was tough because I'm getting doors slammed on me, people telling me to, you can imagine, right, what was happening. So I had to build a little bit of thick skin within that space, and what I did learn in real estate a lot was communication. We were doing sales. So they would put me with the sales team and learn around how to communicate to people, body language, how to,
great skill.
Yeah, all these things. And I was opened up to lots of things early around communication basically, and how to talk and connect with people, and, how to make people feel, and then how to sell.
And now that carries on into your business.
Yeah, so I was exposed to that really young, and that was a blessing. What I didn't want to do was put up the signs and door knock, right? So I remember walking into the boss at that time, 16 years old, God knows how, squeaky voice. And I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to sell houses, And he's like, dude, you're 16 years old. Like, who's gonna buy or sell a house from you? Like, look at you. And I'm like, what do you mean? I'm getting good at this. I'm talking to people. I was getting a list. I got a listing for one of the sales guys, and I said to the boss, let's negotiate. Like, I should be getting paid a lead. He's like, get out of my office,
negotiating
man. Like,
16
so I'm still dictating my terms, and this guy's like, get out. Right? Anyway, so I got the shits with him, and I learned a hard lesson there in real estate, because I used to have to go around, drop pamphlets off, put a sign up if it was for sale or whatever. And instead of putting the pamphlets in, I'd go and hang out at a mate's house.
Okay.
Right? Until one day the boss calls and he goes, hey, Ben, I'm on, George Street. Where are you? And I was supposed to be, on George Street, and I wasn't. And he goes, meet me back at the office. Basically walked in, he said, you're done. All right. So I'd lost my dream job.
Yep.
Right. And I had to go home and tell my mum.
Oh, man.
Like, man, I was more scared of that. Because guess what she's going to say? Well, you lost your job, you got to start another job tomorrow.
Go find another one.
And I was freaking out. Like, where am I going to go? What am I going to do here? Like, it's not easy to find a job,
within a day as well.
Yeah, like you got to go and get another job. So, a mate of mine had a painting business, and I thought, okay, this is perfect, right? Okay. Because painting is a 4-year apprenticeship, and he couldn't sack me for 4 years as long as I did the right thing. Yeah, because it was a 4-year apprenticeship. Yes. I'm like, this is great. I put pen to paper, 4 years. Yep. I know for the next 4 years, right?
Yep.
This is me, not knowing who I was or
haven't figured anything out.
No. You were 16, 17 at the time, right?
And at that time, what are your mates doing?
going out.
Girls. You know, all the things, no one's doing anything productive, you know. And I didn't want to do that either. I wanted to be around them. So you're just in a different headspace.
Big time.
So I took on painting thinking this is 4 year safety.
Yeah.
And then I fell in love with the trade. You know, I'll be honest, I really fell in love with being a painter. I really enjoyed my time there, you know, and that sort of spiraled me into the next opportunities. You know, now we own a Dulux paint store called Inspirations Paint in Gregory Hills, our area. Yeah. We're about to purchase in the next probably 2 or 3 weeks the local store up the road at Campbelltown, so Inspirations Paint Campbelltown. So it's taken me on this journey. You know, we won Franchise of the Year.
Really?
In our second year, we scaled that business. It was a greenfield site. So
but how many sites do you have?
One. We won at that time. But it was a greenfield site, so no existing business. I basically opened the doors with no customer base, and we sort of scaled that up to what it is today.
From the ground up.
Yeah. So which is a challenge in the paint industry, like to really build it. I had Masters and Bunnings in my area too, which is our direct competition. So, you know,
that's
when you talk competition, like people talk about, you got competition in the fitness industry. I'm like, dude, my biggest competition is Bunnings.
To Bunnings.
Yeah. You know, Bunnings sunk Masters, you know, so.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, if you remember the Masters franchise, like they try to take on Bunnings.
Paint, everyone just goes straight to Bunnings.
100%. So, you know, we're the you know, competitor to them. They sell Dulux, we sell Dulux. So, you know, if we're talking competition, that's why, you know, people always talk about the gym industry being like, and it is a little bit saturated, I would say, at the moment. You know, my biggest competitor in the paint industry is the largest, you know, one of the largest companies in Australia.
Yeah.
So, you know, if I've managed to take them on, you know, over time, you know, I can do the same, I guess, in this industry. But
then again, with the fitness industry, I feel like you can differentiate more than what you can in the paint industry. Right?
We're going line for line, dollar for dollar. Like if you shop there, shop us, it's basically the same price. Like there's no difference there. So the only thing that we can beat them on is customer service, you know, and
speed.
And that's how we take them on. You know, pure customer service, 5-star customer service. And you know what? That's probably a flow-on effect to why the gym is the way it is. You know, because it's always been about the experience. It's never been about the training itself. The training's the byproduct. That's what they first come for. But what they stay for is the experience, the community, and the culture. 100%, man. 100%.
And that's something you can't replicate.
No. And that's something that the other gyms don't do well. So if you want to fight the good fight, you know, and try and fight for position, if
create the culture,
you have to create the culture, you have to create the experience, you have to connect people within the gym to become friends and lifelong friends and family, you know, extended family. It's the home away for home for most of them. So that's our job to do that.
Do you believe that being in a community when you were younger helped you grow the community that you have today within your gym?
Yeah, totally. Like we're talking about martial arts, you know, like. Do you feel a part of your BJJ crew? Like when 100%. You put that uniform on, man, like it's like, it doesn't matter who he is or...
Oh, as soon as he walks in, he's like, I'm BJJ.
Yeah, like it's a buzz, man. And like when you put the uniform on, like...
You feel a part of something bigger.
Yeah, totally. And it's like a brotherhood, sisterhood feeling. And, you know, it doesn't matter
you're breaking each other's joints.
Yeah. What did we say? They said last night, you have a tap, snap or nap. You know, so they're the three things we're trying to do to each other. It sounds pretty brutal, you know, but when you put the uniform on, like it wouldn't matter if I'm, you know, a policeman to, you know, an ex-criminal to, you know what I mean? Like
you're all the same.
Yeah, billionaire to, you know, whatever. Like it actually doesn't matter.
Everyone's equal on the mats.
You put the uniform on, we're all one.
That's awesome.
You know, so I guess being exposed to that early with martial arts, then all of a sudden you take that, you know, how can I bridge the gap between what I feel here and a gym, commercial gym? Because if you go to your 24-hour gym, your local gym,
you walk in and out.
You're just a number, right?
Yeah.
They want you to sign up and not turn up. That's their motto. I'm like, okay, well, martial arts is not like
very fine print in their contract.
Yeah, martial arts is not like that.
No.
Martial arts, you have to progress.
You have to be there.
There's no other way but mat time.
Yes.
No other way. You can't cheat your way through.
You actually have logs and everything. The more you turn up, the more you progress.
Agree. Yeah. So mat time is the only way for you to progress. So you have to be present and feel a part of it and get a part of it and help your brother. You're preparing me, I'm preparing you, right? Yeah. So, okay, let's flip that. How do we bring that into the gym space where I'm also feel like I'm training side by side with you? You know, I feel like if you're down, I'm going to pick you up. I'm going to find out where you are. I'm going to, you know what I mean? I'm check in on you. I'm going to.
That's such a vital takeaway.
Totally, man. It's the 1% of good gyms versus not
bad gyms. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you always gone about this road through building culture and community?
From day dot.
Yeah.
From day dot.
How did you know to do that?
Well, again, from martial arts experience, but we set out when we first started is like, although we needed numbers in the gym to pay the bills and cover your overheads or whatever, we were going to filter through who we signed up. And for example,
even from day one,
100%. So if I remember, Claudia will tell the story too. Like in the early days, we had no one. We couldn't pay rent. Like we were really struggling at the start because you open the gym and you think, hey, great, everyone's going to come and join me. Yeah, right. So you got to start marketing and Facebook ads and sales and all the stuff, right? So we're getting calls. People are coming in for consults and doing free trials and all the things you try. A couple of guys came in the gym and look, I've got tattoos. So, I'm not opposed to tattoos, but these guys had tattoos up on their neck and it was different, and you can sense a vibe, right? They did the class and through the class, they're laughing and mucking around and whatever. And that's okay. You can have a good time, whatever. After the class, the three of them come up and they were big boys too, right? And they said, we want to sign up. And not only that, we're going to pay you cash for the year, right? And I said, look, boys, it's probably not for you. And they said, what do you mean? We're going to sign up. We'll pay you cash, like 1 year up front. Like, what's the issue? And I said, look, it's not really this gym's not for you guys. It's not really that type of gym. There's other gyms in the area. Maybe go and see them, And they were shocked. They were baffled,
Yeah, they would have been.
And they left to the point they got a bit disgruntled. I thought, okay, I'm going to have to walk out here and they're going to be at the front, right? They were a bit upset. Anyway, I called Megan, my wife, and I said to him, I've just turned away 3 guys. She goes, what? We can't pay rent this week. Like, she's like, you know what I mean? Like, we're under financial pressure. She's like, why are you turning them away? I said, listen, I'm going to stick to what we said. I'm going to say from day dot, we always promised that we were going to get the right people in this gym, people that we felt comfortable. If my wife was training there,
very important,
that I feel safe. These guys are leaving at the same time as her and things like that,
Yeah.
So I turned them down, and we did that, not too many times after, but we did do it a few times.
Fuck, that's big.
Yeah, so we stuck to the guns and people come and they're not the vibe or they don't like the fit, or now when we do the sales call, if we hear it over the phone, that it's not the right fit, we don't pursue the sale. We sort of, I'll send you some info. People are going to listen now and think, shit, that was probably me, but...
No, but that's being real. That's being like actually real with what your values are.
Well, it's not bums on seats.
Yeah.
If you do that, you'll fill it with everybody, which is
a crowd you don't want.
No. So now you see our community, like we are known in our area for our community.
Yep.
People talk about how tight the group is.
Awesome.
They will go to bat for each other, like really go to bat, So it's paid off dividend after, like in saying no at the start too, and not just filling the gym up.
That would have been really hard in that moment, though.
It was hard when you're financially under pressure. Now, not so much. Now that we've sort of clawed our way back a little bit. When you back's against the wall financially too, you've just outlaid for a fit out and some money's gone out and you're trying to recoup. It's hard because you want to try and take everything and you think, he's not my vibe, but I'll and we did do that too. We actually took people that maybe I didn't feel it wasn't like what I mean, like we're not connecting as a group, but I'll give him a go, and then it always ends no good.
Didn't work out well.
So it's like you got to stay true to that. Like if you want to build a proper community, really, really be careful who you allow in.
That's a big decision to make, and I feel like every time we talk to someone on this podcast or some sort of business owner or entrepreneur, they talk about their decision-making process. Making decisions is hard when you run a business. How do you go about that process when, it's feeling a bit risky? Like how do you approach it?
Yeah, it's a good question. I try not to overanalyze a lot of things. I think you can overthink it.
Just simplify it?
Yeah, I think you can overthink it, right? And the more you overthink it, it's, you're probably not going to make the right decision. If you sleep on it for 4 or 5 days, if you feel a gut feeling, normally it's true. I'm probably fortunate that my wife, Megan, is involved in the business. Her intuition's pretty good, like if I've gone against it, it backfires. You need someone in the team that has good intuition, someone that says, it doesn't feel right. And normally if it doesn't feel right, it's probably not right, you know. But so not overthinking it. You know, making the decisions are not made off the fly either. You know what I mean? Like in the early days, yes, when you've got no structure and system, you're just like, what do we do with this? Okay, let's do it. Do it. You know. Now it's the decisions are made around the structure, the system, the brand.
Yep.
Everything's built around the brand.
Yep.
You know what I mean? If it doesn't align to the brand, then it's not something we.
That's taken time to develop, though.
Yeah, I agree. 8 years.
So before it was all about speed. Just try it out.
Speed of implementation, 100%. Like take massive action quick, you know, on everything, and just do it. And if
is that still today? You're doing that?
Not so much.
Okay, so it's once you develop the brand, you have to go a little bit slower with your
work. Yeah. Align everything to the brand values and ethos. You know, like we don't. If we see that another local gym doing something, we'll always like applaud it. Wow, that's really great. But you know, we won't ever go, okay, let's just go and do that too, you know, or
copy paste.
Yeah. Where in the beginning we would copy heaps of copy paste, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, that looks mad. Let's try.
Yeah.
Let's try that. They're doing a 3-day sale. Let's do a 3-day sale, like you know, a Black Friday sale, or you know what I mean. Like all these things, you get caught up in that in the beginning because you're hustling. You're trying to like
just do everything.
You know, be. You know,
we did that too. Or like posting twice a week for 2 years straight on Instagram.
Twice a day.
Oh, sorry, twice a day for 2 years straight, and we're like, come on, like this is meant to work now.
Yeah, where's our engagement? Like,
exactly. And then we took a big step back. We're like, okay, let's just post what we believe our brand is about. Yeah, I think that's a very big message that you push as well.
Love that
for your brand.
Yeah, because you don't just put anything out either.
No,
I think we get caught up in. I haven't posted today. I'll just post.
Yeah.
You know, it's the post is chat. You know what I mean? Like it's got to be something. It's got to be something. Like if I'm being honest, it's like you're just putting it out for the sake of putting it out. You know, like you got to make sure that you know. And again, everything you're saying you do at the beginning. Like people were going to watch and go, yeah, like I did exactly the same thing because you're sporadic. You know, you just want to like. I know I got to market, so this is how I'm going to market, you know. Or I know I got to pay Facebook ads, so I'm going to boost every post, you know, and do everything wrong, you know. Like it's just,
and that's a horizontal way of thinking.
Yeah, because you're just constantly, okay, I'll do that. I'll try this. Oh shit, that didn't work, and you're not actually like even to the number understand if that worked or not.
Yeah.
You know, you're running 2 or 3 campaigns at one time. Yep. Like, how would you know which one's performing? You know, you need to double down on like. Now we have a 12-month calendar that we really don't go out of, and we build that in September, October, November. It takes a bit for the next year.
So you build it for 3 months for a 12-year period. Yeah, and do that every year.
And that's our like non-negotiable in terms of what we do in the year, because then things will pop
challenges
up.
And everything.
The structure, the system is there. You know, before it was like
can't stuff around with the dates. Everything's there.
They're set. The days are set.
That's good.
Know, everything. You know, and again, that takes time to do that as well.
For sure.
You know, but I think calendarizing it gives our members the opportunity to train better as well, because they know
for it.
High Rocks is coming up. Yeah, they get access to it, right? So we release it in January. This is the calendar of events for a year. And, you know, we put this is subject to change, but nothing really changes. Like we try to stay as close and aligned to the date, you know? So like things like, you know, our actual gym challenges that we run, like High Rocks training, our in-house fight nights, our actual, you know, contender program fight nights, like all the things that we do, they're there. So it gives the opportunity for the member, and you guys would understand. Like if I know, okay, in 12 weeks' time, I'm training for this event, I'm going to start now. And I can train towards that event. And then after it, like we're not high performing all year in our training. Like you got to have ebbs and flows in what you do. But if you don't know, then you're just bumbling your way all year through it. And then you know what I mean? Like, and most of us have done that already. Like 4 weeks you feel good, and then in 2 weeks you feel, you know what I mean? There's no tangible like goal. So we go to the guys, all right, let's build it the way we would like to build it. Okay. We're going to do this year High Rocks. I'm going to, you know, do a tournament. I'm going to fight. I'm going to do that nutrition challenge. I'm going to do the ab challenge. I'm going to do this. Okay, perfect. There's my year for the year. That means I've got to ramp it up in February to get to this. I can dial back down in March, you know what I mean? And then I can go again in June. I'll rip till July, and then I can dial back. And then all of a sudden, this is like a 12-month season. So the members are like, man, this is mad. I'm like fully engaged all
from
the time.
start to finish.
Yeah. And I know when I'm off.
Yeah.
And I know, and then when I've got to get on, I've got to get on.
That's an awesome way to think.
Yeah.
Like just setting that 12 years ahead of time to make sure that you can tell your clients, hey, this is what we're doing over the next year. This is exciting stuff.
12 years would be a big... If I did it in
12 months,
I wish I could do it in 12 years.
3 months to prepare for 12 years.
Yeah, that'd be nuts.
If a member's preparing that well...
Kick your feet up for the next 12 years.
After 12 years, you can kick back.
Sorry, I was so locked in. The 12 years just came out of my head.
No, what we do, we try to do it over 12 months.
Yeah.
We try to look at the gym... The way the gym's structured now is purely the way myself and my coaches like to train.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, what do you love about training yourself? Well, you know, I like these certain opening times. I want to train at this time. I like this style of training. You know, sometimes I want to do a HIIT style class. Sometimes I want to do a strength style class. Okay, in your strength, what do you like about strength? I want to track my lifts. I'm not a power lifter, but I would like to know maybe every 8 weeks
and everything.
what my bench press 1 RM or 3 RM would look like, you know. So, okay, we don't have to be a lifting gym to do that. We can now set 8 weeks. We have a game day. Everybody comes, community gets it. They track their lifts. They track their runs. They do a little endurance course. Each coach gets the opportunity to build it, you know. So we purely build the structure around what do you like to do? Yeah. And then what do you like to do? And then what do you like to do? And then, okay, we can take the best of everything and put it all into one space.
And they have 12 months to prepare for their little sections that they like the most.
Every 8 weeks game day, so they know that's coming up. That keeps them involved. That's our strength-based community that want to sort of do a bit of lifting, but, you know, they're not.
Is that every 8 weeks?
Yeah, every 8 weeks on a Saturday morning, our community will get together. We have light refreshments. They go hit the run together, come back. They do their 3 main lifts, bench press, back squat, and deadlift. They'll track them. And we're old school, man. I don't use apps or anything. They've got a little folder. They take it out of the folder. They write it down. Like people say like, awesome. Oh, what app do you use or whatever? We don't. We write it on a piece of paper with their name at the top, and they grab the folder themselves and they, you know what I mean? Like, you don't have to overcomplicate anything, you know. Just go back to basics and have a bit of fun with it. The members don't want to log into their app and work out what their fucking password is and shit. Like, I don't.
Can you reset my password again?
Yeah, like that's my head in, and then it comes back to us, and they can't get into the thing. And
that's what we have. Like we have an app.
Yeah, but apps are good. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
like, it's efficient, very efficient, providing the member uses it.
Of course, like we use it for our online clients.
Then again, inside a gym, it's different because you can have access to a folder there.
You're using an online model that you need a software platform for them to data,
which makes
entry
sense.
In. Yeah, so totally.
But I do really like that though, because then they feel more connected to each other because they're passing around that folder to each other. Here's your folder.
We put it in like a toaster rack. They come in, they grab their little folder. It's got their name on it. The pen's inside. When they go out to start game day, we've got like a foam roller. Sometimes if you like refreshment next to it and a little towel, so they go to their little pod and they like warm up. It's like it becomes a thing, you know, it becomes a little community. And then they push each other like, oh, what'd you get on your time? I beat my time by 10 seconds. Oh, man, I better, you know. It becomes a little bit of friendly competition.
Yeah.
And we don't have a gym of like athletes. It's like everyday legends.
Yeah.
You know,
I like that.
People that are not so, they don't care if they've got a six pack. They just want to be able to kick the ball around with their kids on the weekend and, and play netball if they want. You know what I mean? Like it's not, we're not filled of, we have an athlete program, especially for the youth. We're trying to develop, you know, young athletes there. But the most general pop training, like member base, is just everyday people who just want to have a bit of fun, lift a bit of things, throw some shit around, punch shit. That's our ethos, you know. Just come, bang it out, have a bit of fun, and enjoy your time there with good people.
Yeah,
that's it.
I wanted to ask you a question about the first. Well, you snapped the ribbon and you opened up the gym. What was that feeling like, and what was the first words that you told yourself? When you were in that moment,
my kids cut the ribbon.
Yeah,
on the opening.
That would have been mad.
There was probably about, I don't know, felt like about 350 people in our complex. Like it was a massive turnout. We had like food trucks. You know, there's a thing called the Camden Show where we are. So we joked to the community, we want to take on the Camden Show for our grand opening.
That's crazy.
And not knowing, like they were like, okay, well, you've set the bar now, like let's fucking go. So it felt like the Camden Show in our complex. We had like food trucks everywhere.
We saw the video.
Yeah, we had like Lebanese drummers. We had like smoking from an Aboriginal guy came, like it was historic, man. It was pretty sick. Anyway, so then we cut the ribbon, but I got the kids to cut it. When they cut it, if I remember correctly, like the whole crowd just went like
crazy.
Yeah, like it was like a full pivotal moment for our community. Remember, they've been in a small space. They've been tight for ages, man.
And now they can be free.
They've been on a waiting list in a center. So like we got to a point where we couldn't book them in anymore. Like people were on a 10 or 15 person waiting list,
That's
so
crazy.
people were getting cranky and grumpy around not being able to train and on their unlimited membership. It's wasn't unlimited anymore. It was like selective that they could get into. So they done the hard yards too with us.
Yeah, so they rode the wave with you.
This moment for them was big, so I think,
as big as it was for you.
and I think that's been the big driver for all of us at the top is like, knowing that your membership base, like they want it as well. You know what I mean? Like we had a following of people that they were so connected to the whole thing. We kept them involved in the build and constantly posting like everything
like
that went right.
Friends.
Yeah, went wrong, went right. Like, we got them in. We actually brought them all in one night prior. So when we painted it all and then it was empty before the mezzanine went up and everything happened. So we brought them in and then they all thought they were going to see something, but what they saw was an empty factory, right? So some of them got there and were like, what are we doing now? This is ridiculous, right? And that's where we went, we introduced them and said, this is the vision. We put up all the 3D renders on the walls.
Wow.
We went through all the membership bays because like things were going to change, right? Like some of them were paying like, weren't paying.
So it was like a seminar.
Yeah, we basically like brought them in and got all eyes around. It was, and they got to see what it looked like. And then I said, in 6 weeks' time, I'm going to open those doors. Not knowing that was like the biggest ask ever, like that to get that done, And on the 7th week, we actually opened, but it was like I nearly took my own health with it. Like it was
for sure.
Crazy shit.
You would have been pushing yourself to the limit.
Because I committed to the day. I wanted to try and like honor that, but everything went wrong through the build. But they got to see an open factory empty, and then all of a sudden walk back in. It was like, man, and like if you've seen our gym online, obviously, like we really put every detail into it. Everything lights up, like the music, the experience. The walls are all acoustic. Like there's no sound inside, outside. Like
it looks awesome.
Each space has its own. Yeah, I would love it.
So was it open day before or after that build? It was before, wasn't it?
The grand opening.
Yeah.
So they came in like 6 weeks before we grand opening, and then we opened soft opening with just our members and didn't launch any like new membership base. I wanted the members to come and be a part of it first in honor to them. And then also operationally, I wanted to see what was right and wrong, because there's so many things like when they walk in, they go swipe their card and then the laptops, where's the laptop and where's the screens? And like, I wanted the flow of it to work before we went to market.
Yes.
Because obviously now you got to go and find new memberships, right? We had to go back to ground zero, what we did in the beginning, and get new members. So, we brought them in first. I think we went for about a month or two just like that without really hard launching. And then we had a grand opening. And then that was like the Camden show on steroids. And we tried to like really, we did it pretty big. Like it was a costly event for us, but we went hard. We just like, we're going to give them the best day ever.
You're only going to grand open once.
Yeah, and we just, that's right. I'm talking about celebrating your thing. I was like, man, we're going to put on a party.
That's what I asked.
The boys played the drums, actually. Anthony Cassis came and they were the ones who played. Yeah, we had Platinum Mules there. We had everyone there. It was just like an epic day, man. The kids all had fun. They had a lot, like all interactive stuff for the kids and face painting and football throwing. And like, it was just epic day. It was mad. It was an awesome day. But yeah, to answer your question, cutting the ribbon, I felt and I remember the roar of the community, and like if anything's gonna spark you, it's that, right? It's like
you would have been like, fuck,
like as tired as we were, man. Like because we hadn't stopped, we finished the fit out, and then you don't get another gap year there either. Like it's a fucking you're going again,
just
bro.
keep
like,
pushing the gap year back.
Yeah, I know. I still haven't had my gap year, bro.
You still
I'll tell you. No, I'll tell you when I have it. But you got to open, right? Like you can't get away from that. Like it's fucking taxing on your health. But so yeah, we were tired, man. I remember and knackered, but I remember like this is the moment, that we were going to take the gym to the next level. So yeah,
that feeling would have been sick.
It's epic, man. And you guys are going to go through it like when you open up your facility.
Yeah.
And I'll just say stop and smell the roses. Like don't
live in the moment.
Every milestone or whatever, every time there's a chance to celebrate, man. Celebrate. Don't go too far.
Celebrate the small wins.
Yeah, man. You get if you get 20 people through the door, or set a goal like 30 people, 50 members, whatever it is, like celebrate that. You know, really enjoy it and celebrate it with your people. Tell them, we just hit 50 members. We're so proud. You know, we hope you guys are proud, and we hope those 50s all get along and whatever. You know, let's celebrate. You know, we're gonna have a night in the gym where we're gonna train, and you know, we run like, you know, beers and banter, or
beers and banter.
Pilates and prosecco and like, just dumb shit. You know, not dumb shit. We do like things, community events that like.
Do you join those classes?
Yeah,
Pilates and prosecco.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah,
I actually like Pilates, man.
Pilates is really good.
Yeah, not reformer. We do mat. I wish I did Pilates like long time ago. I wouldn't have half of the injuries.
We did a Pilates class like maybe a couple of months ago.
It's hard, man.
My God. My legs were hurting for like a couple of days.
Man. It fires some muscles up that you haven't activated before. Like, and even if you've been training all your life, you know what I mean? Like it taps into something.
Good luck sitting on the toilet.
Yeah, man. Like reformer's the big fad now. Everybody wants to do reformer. I'm not sure if
I've only seen it in physio rooms.
Yeah, I bag out my Pilates instructors because they're Pilates and they're reformer qualified. I'm like, you know, if I wanted to springboard off the bed, I'd do it at home and things like that. And they always go, man, you don't know, you've never done it before. But yeah. Like my style of training is like to punch, to lift. Yeah, you know, it's a bit more physical. You know, like that's what I enjoy. But Matt Pilates has, you know, slowed the club down. Yep. It's forced them to get, you know, themselves into some positions and stretch and, you know, really core activate and stuff like that.
Which is good to complement everything.
Totally. And that's why it's been a real hit with ours because, you know, through the training, they might be doing lots of boxing or HIIT training, and then all of a sudden you got Pilates day where you got to force everybody to, you're going to Pilates and
you got to do it
down a little bit. Yeah, so that's good.
What's one bit of advice that you would give to us going down this new road of opening up a gym that you probably could have told yourself before you were starting?
Just be yourselves, man. Be yourselves. You know, I think you know, a lot of people get caught up in pretending they're someone they're not. Yeah. You know, I've tried to be real. This is how I am all the time. You know, I'm a business owner. I'm whatever you know, all the titles that people would say, but you know, I think I've always tried to just stay true to who I am. You know, be yourselves and enjoy the moment. You know, enjoy the fact that you're making an impact on people. Yeah. I think if there's something like I always talk about to the coaches, you know, if you can, if they were going to make like a montage video of you, you know, one day, like what would that video look like?
I don't want to know. To be honest.
I know. Fuck. There's a time when it probably, you know, the video should cut.
Of course.
But you know, the last few years, you know what I mean.
I know what you mean.
I think Conor McGregor said it. He goes, "What if they make and they probably will make one of him. Or they have already, actually. But and his one's pretty epic, like his story, whatever. But you know, I always think like that. I always think if you know to make if my kids had the opportunity now to watch back what their father did, would they be proud? You know, and I think overall,
that's a good way to think of it.
It's the only thing I really care about now that I've had kids now and I've got little eyes looking up. I always just think, you know what, the ultimate for me is that my son one day grows up and he says, you know, fuck, my dad was a legend, man. He really had a crack, you know.
I want to open up a gym.
Yeah, like, or maybe,
whatever he wants to do, you know what I mean?
As long as he's being a good person, you know what I mean, and true to who he is. And I'd say that's my best advice for everybody is to be yourself, man. Yeah. You don't have to be anybody else. You're good at it. You're good at being you. You know what I mean? You're
no one else can be you.
Yeah, you're authentic and you're you. So you be proud of that. You know, you don't have to be like anybody else. You know?
All right, I'm ready. I'm keen.
Yeah, man, I'm excited for you. And it's a tough journey. Like it's not easy. Our space, you know, being in the fitness industry is not for the weak, man. It's not for the weak. No. You know, when you wake up in the morning, every win you get, there's always a setback in some way. You know, it's
like a stock chart.
Yeah, and it literally, like, you know what I mean? I wish it would just be, you know, but it just doesn't happen like that. You're constantly trying to put out bushfires. You know, you're constantly navigating through different problems on the business. And when you're focused here, something else comes in and it's like, it's a lot of moving parts, man. It's a lot of moving parts.
Like table tennis in your mind.
It feels like that. It feels like that sometimes. So it's not for the weak. You know, I don't recommend it to anyone, you know, but there's certain people out there that should do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're built for it. You know? They love it. wake up and just love it. And if you don't love it, man, you got to acknowledge that too, you know, like I think it's,
and get out of the race.
Yeah, like it's okay too. I think, again, talk about social media, but social media puts everybody on like thinking that they need to do that. They don't.
Yeah.
Like, you know, some people are good, like hard workers within their business. Just level up.
Yeah.
Earn your stripes and go to your boss and say, this is what I want, you know? And if you're a good employee, guess what? He's going to have to make a damn decision then if he wants to keep you or not. Do that.
Yeah.
Don't go when you haven't got runs on the board.
Yeah.
Get them first, you know, and be that person. Because the security and safety in that is far more important than you know, owning a business, you know, especially in our industry, man.
Yeah.
Google it now. How many big gyms are in this area?
I don't want to know.
Yeah, it's heavy.
It's probably a lot.
It's heavy, man. It's heavy. So the competition's fierce. You got to set yourself apart.
What's your definition of success?
I think success is different in the eyes of the beholder. You know, like I think a lot of people value success in different ways. My success, I'm more proud now that my people are proud of me. Yeah. I'm more, when someone sees the journey that I've been on to get to who I am and feel content in the space and they know the story and they understand, that makes me more proud.
Yeah.
When someone comes and says, you know, yeah, they're proud of me, you know, and I think going back to my kids, that's success. If my kids one day are proud of their dad, then that's the ultimate for me.
The legacy you want to leave is for your kids to be proud of what you've created, not only for them, but for everyone else around you.
Yeah, that's all that really matters to me at the moment.
That's success.
Yeah. That's
I like
success.
that.
That's to me, you know.
Yeah.
And it can be different for everybody.
Yeah.
You know?
Everyone has a different definition of it.
Yeah, totally. And
I feel like it changes over time because you wouldn't have had that definition before, right?
No, not before I had kids, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, others look at it differently. Like, you know, it's maybe monetary or the flashy cars, the lifestyle. You know, I've never really been interested in that. I was driving like an old shitty car for a long time. People were like, why, dude? You don't need to do that. You know, you can go and lease whatever you want right now.
Put it on the business.
Accountants like, dude, you don't have to do half the shit you're doing, but it just never really interests me, you know.
Yeah.
It just I wasn't driven by that, you know. I was driven by, you know, what effect I could make on people because I had taken myself through the hard times. It's like, okay, now I want to try and, if I just help one person, then I win. You know, if I can connect with one kid in the gym and change his life, or, you know, one person that comes to us broken, and we've saved thousands of people now, man, across, you know, our online challenge that we ran. We had clients in New York, in Coffs Harbour, and like the randomest places that jumped on the actual program that ran that nutrition type style of training online. And so it was like, man, I can go, like, I can do this everywhere. Like, you know what I mean? I can really make an impact. So I think that's what success is to me. You know, how many lives you can help,
how many lives you can touch.
Yeah.
That's a very good way to define it. We ask everyone on the podcast because, as you mentioned, everyone's got their own definition of success, and we hear different answers every single time. And
what are they? I'm just curious. Like, what's one?
Like people's definition of success, like Claudia said, happiness. Like just to be
that's
happy.
That's a good one, Claude.
Yeah.
See what I mean? Like, didn't I say that before? She's good energy to have around. Like, that's what she defines, and that's 100%.
That's why we asked that question, because it's very
Everyone
deep.
has a different way of thinking of it.
Yeah.
And you would have had a different version of success, you know, spanned 5 years ago. And you'll probably have a different one in 5 years from now.
Most likely, yeah. Because your mindset changes, your perspective changes, life changes, you find a partner, your family changes, your health changes. Like there's things, roadblocks and other things that are going to come into life where you actually think differently, you know. Your circle changes, right? When your circle's, you know, imagine we had like a high level circle that we spent every 3 days with together. What you know, how great would that be?
Yeah.
You know, but sometimes you go and speak to other people that bring you down and draw you back. You know, so it's who you're around. It can really help you level up a lot.
It makes a massive difference in who you are.
Totally, man. That's why I'm cautious with my energy, cautious with who I spend time with, man. Now, you know, I don't want to.
Your time is precious.
Yeah, and not even in an ego way either. No. It's like purely like shit. Like I'm on a level now, and I'm doing something, and then I'll get a phone call, and I just know like is gonna. You know, I can hold that one for a minute. Not that I won't get back to it. It's just like I can't come down to that now. I've got to hyper focus on something else. So, you know, that takes a level of skill too to do. But what's your level of success?
My definition of success. My definition of success was very similar to Claudia's, where it was happiness with family, friends who I surround myself with, and my passion. What's my passion? My passion is doing this, talking to people, creating communities. Now we have the opportunity to create one.
Are you happy now?
I'm learning to be more happy.
Yeah, great.
Yeah. I think that it was very hard in the beginning stages of running this business. It's stressful.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to go through that stressful period. But I think learning to be happy is now a passion of mine.
Yep.
And I'm doing it through running the business, through meeting him, through meeting all my friends, seeing my family more. So, that's
a good answer. Yeah. What about you? What do you reckon yours is?
For me, I feel like success has been for a long time just striving to become better. And I try and become better in every single aspect of my life.
Yeah.
No matter what it is.
Yeah. I get that.
You know, I'll wake up in the morning, and if I don't feel like I've gotten 1% better that day, that I actually become more demotivated. So success to me is striving for more every single day.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Very different answers.
Yeah, very different, but very similar.
Yeah.
You know, you find happiness in self-development, you know, which I can relate to. You know, I'm the same. You know, I want to be better, you know, and at what? I'm just being a better human being, you know. I want to feel content, and I want to feel like I'm learning, like I'm growing.
100%. That's what it is.
That's what makes us happy.
Yeah.
And the fact that, you know, your circle's happy, your friends are happy, your family's happy.
People are proud of you.
People respect you. People are proud of you. You know, like, that's what makes us happy. So I think both answers are great.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What I would say, and now that I'm, you know, probably, you know, growing up, I guess, if I'm not already there, but, you know, is that you got to stop and be content.
Yep. Smell the roses.
You have to, man. It's my best advice. You have to stop and really take it in, because you take it in, because I didn't do that a lot. I was just chasing, and I don't even know where I'm going. I'm just chasing all the time. It's like, you know, and then when you stop and like, shit, look at the position that we're in.
Yeah.
Like, this is what we wanted. You know?
Is that a regret of yours?
I try not to regret. Yeah, I try not to regret anything.
Is it something you reflect on?
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah,
yes,
more reflection on like.
Man, I didn't celebrate those wins.
Yeah, not being like in the space. You know, not being in the present moment at that time.
The present is the present for a reason.
Yeah, like you have to, man. You have to do that. So I think. Look, life's all about, like I said before, business is the best self-development journey that you ever go on, you know. I think
as lonely as it is, you always come out the back end of it just like, okay, I know much more about myself than I ever thought I would.
Yeah, man. It's how awesome is that? It's a great experience. And
I'm glad we get to share it on sort of podcasts like this and actually be genuine and talk about it, because it's rare that people, well, it's not rare, a lot of people talk about businesses, but like for my experience and his experience, it's awesome to get people like you and other people on to share their experience, because no one's ever heard of you or me or him. Yeah. Just to open up and talk about it. I think that's an awesome...
I think it's important for people to hear people's stories too. Everybody's got such an awesome story to tell, man. Like, you know, and
it's cool to see them as well.
Yeah. When you hear such great triumph over so much obstacles, and, you know, that... I think that we all go through so much hardship in our life at times, you know. It's never a straight road for anybody.
Yep.
You know, so character's built from that. Character's built from overcoming those situations and then having the platform to share. You know, so most people watch, you know, all these high-level celebrities and you know, that's who they follow all the time.
They get lost in that world so easily.
But I want to hear... what, you know what I mean? What your story is. Like, that's what fires me up too. You know, it's like, man, that was passion and, you know, how far you've come from who you are or who you were.
Yeah, I think we didn't realize that when we started this whole journey of the podcast. We were like, let's just do a podcast. It's going to be so much fun. We'll get everyone on. It'd be awesome. But now, podcast guest after podcast guest, it's just like this motivating hinge to go bang. All right, next.
You guys will grow a lot from being in this space. Obviously, I'm involved in a podcast too, right?
Of course,
so I know what you're feeling, man.
Yeah.
Like, man, every conversation, like when the guest leaves, I'm like,
while being humble at the same time.
Yeah, that was like, that was so good, man. I loved it. It was just an open conversation. The guy's a hustler. He's just like, he's doing his thing. Like, we're not podcasters.
No.
We're building this shit as we go, right?
Regular people. Just
what we did do is go and buy more cameras. We splashed out. So we've got fucking cameras everywhere now.
Yeah.
Like, we are getting it no matter what. But and you know what we said? That's like business itself. That's a lesson in
it actually is.
Yeah, because that's how when you make a mistake, it's like, okay, now we have to be conscious of this.
Yep.
We have to make sure we're checking. Both of us need to check, not just one person. It's like, you know what I mean? Like,
that was like when we invested in all this. Like, this room was not like this.
Oh, okay.
It was not like this at all. We like spent about $5,000 doing the gyp rock, painting, putting that shelf up by the desk.
Just to turn it into this?
Just to turn it into what it is today. So I think that process was something that we enjoyed as well.
Yeah.
And that's what we kind of gathered from our business as well, was that whole process
of
failing
or falling forward. We call it. We always say we
falling up the stairs.
Yeah, you fall forward.
Yeah, falling up the stairs.
You just keep falling, falling. But as long as you're falling forward, then you're in the right space. If you fall back, then it's detrimental. So
100%.
But I appreciate you just having me on, man.
No, bro, big time. Appreciate it. Where can people find you?
So they can probably. I mean, my Instagram is Ben Ilacqua official, but the gym itself is Shadow Fitness Club. They can definitely reach out there. We're open to guys to come out and train, if you want to come and trial the gym and experience the space, even if they're outside of the community. Come down, feel it, love it. We've got a recovery centre now, which is kind of cool. So you can train and then do the recovery.
That's cool.
Sort of get it at the same time. So pretty proud of the space. So it's nice to show people. So
awesome.
And the invitations for you guys as well.
Awesome. No, we'll definitely come down, bro. Super keen.
And likewise, man, when you get set up and
we'll tell you to come down.
We'll be there. For sure.
Done.
Bro, appreciate
Legends,
it.
Man. Thank you, man.
Cheers,
killed it. He's killed it. Thank you.
Thank you guys for listening to this week's episode of the Evolv Podcast.
Brendan and I have loved having you throughout this whole podcast. Make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. And if friends are interested, share it around.
Yeah, make sure you share and tag us on your Instagram posts, and I'll see you soon.